Have you ever experienced a moment with a lover so blissful you wanted to exist in that moment forever? Many famous love songs attempt to capture this moment. For instance, the famous Aerosmith song, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep. And I just want to stay with you in this moment forever. These are some lines from that song. I'm sure you can think of a song, a moment in movies, television, and particularly and hopefully in your own life. There is a poem written in 1819 by the Romantic poet John Keats that captures all of this feeling, and it catapults you into the experience of this feeling. It elevates all of your perceptions, synthesizes your perceptions into a fully formed emotional experience, unlike any other emotional experience. Whereas the splendor and beauty of music, such as the Aerosmith song, can make you feel something, and it'll probably be something that you have already felt. But where music often lacks is in the elevated use of language. What language is capable of doing at its best. We all have our best and our medium and our average and our below average and our really below average. But what is it at its absolute pinnacle? What's it capable of? And here we will find out with the poem Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Art. I'm going to do a reading of the poem first, and I want you just to sit back and enjoy the sounds. There will likely be images, words, phrases that you don't know. This is a short sonnet, so just bear with me. Then we will do a quick discussion of the poem itself, and I'll read it again. This will help you to engage with the poem, and I would highly recommend that you memorize this particular poem. This is one certainly worthy of that. First, a reading. Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Art, by John Keats. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art. Not in lone splendor hung aloft the night, and watching, with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest. Still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. So let's take this bit by bit. We hear at the beginning, bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, as you are. That's thou art. So we have a narrator looking up, or at least talking to, a star. And we've all heard of this kind of thing. would I wish upon a shooting star? Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art. Steadfast, of course, meaning consistent, eternal, never ending, solid. But then after we hear this desire to look up at the star and be as eternal as the star that hangs up in the sky, and it's that star will be there forever. It will be there. It was there before we were born. It will be there long after we are gone. But he goes on to say, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night, and watching with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite. So although he wants to be like the star, he says not in lone splendor. So we get a sense of the opposite of what he wants. He wants to be steadfast like the bright star. Would I were as steadfast as you are. Well, but not in lone splendor. I don't want to be alone up there, hung aloft in the night and the darkness. And just, think of the star up there just watching with its eternal lids apart, just awake forever, never able to sleep, to rest, to do anything else, just to watch. Like nature's patient, sleepless eremite. It's one of those words you should look up. But it's a hermit. Like a sleepless hermit. The moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. So the moving waters at their priest-like task. Well, one way to look at this is we have the imagery of the watching, the sleepless eremite, the eternal lids apart. We have that view of standing or floating in space and looking down at all of humanity and being able to see everything. There are many ways you can interpret this, but don't worry about getting it exactly correct. What does it mean to you? The moving waters at their priest-like task. So you have a bunch of priests or a priest acting in a certain way, doing a certain priestly task of pure ablution. There's one of those words you should memorize. Of pure ablution round earth's human shores. Ablution means to wash oneself, or ceremonial cleaning of the body. So we have a relationship between the star that is separated from earth's human shores, and it's like a priest washing or watching even the moving waters at their priest-like task, washing over the human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. So he does not want to be like this, remember. He does not want to be that star separated from all things, watching the beauty of earth. And we have these images of earth, earth's human shores, the soft fallen mask. What could that be, do you think? What could be the new soft fallen mask? Well, of snow. So snow that is looked up from above might look like a mask upon parts of the earth. And he goes on, no, he says. He emphasizes. He does not want this. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell. So what we have here is he emphasizes the no. This whole section starts with not in lone splendor and ends with a no. But he emphasizes again the steadfastness, the unchangeable. He's saying it over and over again. What does he want to be unchanging? He wants this moment, the moment of his head being pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast. They're young, 18, 19 years old. He wants to feel forever its soft fall and swell. He wants to be awake forever in a sweet unrest. Now think about that. If you've ever been in love, you know that term, sweet unrest, the pure exhaustion of being with your loved one day in and day out, non-stop, can be a sweet unrest. You're not getting enough sleep, but yet you still feel invigorated. Still, still to hear her tender taken breath. And so live ever, or I'll swoon to death. Why might he want to swoon to death? I'll leave that for you to think about. But now you have a few words that you need to contemplate this poem. You have the imagery that's necessary for you to explore, for you to memorize, for you to recite this poem. You have eremite, pure ablution. The imagery is hopefully making a little bit more sense. So let's read it one more time. And I challenge you to go out and read it, memorize it, recite it. Bright Star, Would I Were Steadfast as Thou Art, by John Keats. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night and watching, with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No! Yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest. Still, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or I'll swoon to death.